Hello out there. I'm serving the Most High. You know, here we go again with YouTube cycling my videos again. Um, I shot some out about 3 hours ago and it's been hung up. I went and complained about it over on TikTok. Now it's unhung and processing. So, you know what? Uh, I'm going to have something checked out. But the thing about it is, the Father's not going to put up with it. I don't know why that everybody wants to play with my stuff. But anyhow, let's get this done and over with. I'll make this quick and painless. And the king commanded Hilkiah, the high priest, and the priests of the second order, and the keepers of the door, to bring forth out of the temple of the Lord, the Most High Righteous Love, all vessels that were made for Baal, and the grove, and for all the host of heaven. And he burned them without Jerusalem in the fields of Kidron, and carried them ashes of them unto Bethel. And he put down the adulterous priests, whom kings of Judah had ordained to burn incense in the high place, in the cities of Judah, and in the place round about Jerusalem, them also that burned incense unto Baal, to the sun, and to the moon, and to the planets, and to all the host of heaven. And he brought out the grove from the house of the Lord, the Most High, Righteous and Low, without Jerusalem, unto the brook of Kidron, and burned it at the brook of Kidron, and stamped it small to powder, and cast powder thereon upon the graves of the children of the people. And he brake down the house of the Sodomites that were by the house of the Lord, the Most High, Righteous and Low, where the women wove hangings for the grove. And he brought all the priests out of the cities of Judah, and defiled their highest places, where the priests had burned incense, from Gittah and to Beersheba, and brake down the high places of the gates that were in the entering of the gate, and of Joshua, and the governor of the city, which were of men on a man's left hand at the gate of the city. Nevertheless, the priests of the high places came not upon the altar of the Lord in Jerusalem, but they did eat of the unleavened bread among the brethren, and they defiled Tophet, which is in the valley of the children of Hinnom, that no man might make his son or his daughter to pass through the fire of Moloch. And he took away the horses that the kings of Judah, and gave to the sun at the entering of in of the house of the Lord, the Most High, Righteous and Low, by the chamber of Nathan and Moloch, the chamberlain, which was in the suburbs, and burned the chariots of the sun with fire, and the altars that were on top of the upper chamber of Ahaz, which the kings of Judah had made, and the altars which Manasseh had made in the two courts of the house of the Lord, the Most High, Righteous and Love, did the king beat down and break them down from thence, and cast them to dust, them into the brook of Kidron, and the high places that were before Jerusalem, which were out on the right hand of the mount of corruption, which Solomon, the king of Israel, had builded for Ashtaroth, the abomination of the Zidonians, and for Chemish, the abomination of the Moabites, and for the Milcom, the abomination of the children of Ammon, did the king defile. And he brake into pieces the images, and cut down the groves, and filled their places with the bones of men. Moreover, the altar was at Bethel, and the high places was at Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin, had made both the altar and the high place he broke down. He burned the high place and stamped it in small powder and burned the grove. And Joshua turned himself, he spied the sepulchres that were there in the mount, and sent and took the bones of the sepulchres and burned them upon the altar and polluted it, according to the word of the Lord, the most high righteous and love, which the man of God, the most high righteous and love, proclaimed, who proclaimed these words. Then he said, with title, is that I see? And the men of the city told him, it is the sepulchre of the man of God, the most high righteous love, which came from Judah, and proclaimed these things that thou hast done against the altar of Bethel. And he said, let him alone, let no man move bones. So they left his bones alone, with the bones of the prophet that came out of Samaria. And all the house also of the high places were in the cities of Samaria, which the kings of Israel had made, provoked the Lord, the most high righteous love, to anger. Joshua took away and did to them according to all the acts that he had done in Bethel. And he slew all the priests of the high place that were then upon the altars, and burned men's bones upon them, and returned to Jerusalem. The understanding, we were saying the other day about the point of going against priests, against the clergy. And each one of us can gripe and complain about whatever it may be. But the point what you got to understand is that that man is a pastor or a priest or a bishop or whatever he may be. Do you not think that his judgment is going to be double? Because he's supposed to be giving the word of the Father. I don't want to be him. I mean, I went through my cycle. And look, I had enough. That one, I was in it to win it. And the Father knew I was going to stay until I got through all of it. Well, guess what? Might as well unalive me and take me home now. I wouldn't want to be one of them guys. Not at all. Because the point being is, we can cast stones, but he who sinned not cast the first stone. Look, they have got it heaped upon them, and they've got to live that humiliation, especially when they get busted. And even that part of it is, when Father, if he is anointed, when Father takes that presence away from him, you just feel like an empty bag. There's nothing left. So understand that if he's anointed and he gets that taken away, he's got that taken away, plus the judgment he has to go through all through the cycles. Okay? So understand that. Don't cast the first stone until you walk a mile in a man's shoes. I can tell you that now, because that's the Father's problem, not yours. And the other part, we're talking about what Joshua, and he took care of all the priests, that was doing it, the problem. The children of Hinnom, that no man might make his son or his daughter to pass through the fire of Moloch. Well, that was more or less a place where they had went, and let's see if I can grab it right quick. Yeah. I didn't mark it, so I'll have to search it. Right there. The Valley of Hinnom. And I've got a few minutes. Hinnom Valley. More properly, the Valley of the son of Hinnom, running southward from the Jaffa Gate and to the west side of Jerusalem, turning eastward and running south of the city till it joined the valley of the Kidron. It was a part of the boundary between Judah and south of Benjamin and north, and no one knows anything of the son of Hinnom except they lived before Joshua's time, and presumably owned the valley. It seems to have been dumping ground and a place for burning. Here was Topheth, where human sacrifices had been offered to Moloch, and so was later called the Valley of Slaughter. And it was that. And the thing about it was that that's where they had the sacrifices. And the point being is, I was trying to remember who that was out there that was on that. But anyways, they was doing children's sacrifice. And the understanding of that is to please Tophet or another god. There is no other god. There's only Yahweh. And, you spend time with him. Spend that time with him. He's gonna open you up to where you got to understand something, because he's opening everybody's gifts now. Okay? Spend the time with him. Precepts, statutes, commandments, testimonies, Psalm 119. It's pretty important. And the other part of it was that I was going to say that the grove. The grove is a place. It's not a place. You'd think it would be a place. But what it had done is in the LXX, it's also mispronunciated. A grove to them at that time, the way it come back and translated Greek, Hebrew, and the point of it being is that they're columns, and where the women wove hangings for the grove, tapestries, tools, altars. That's what they called a grove, which was a place like inside this room here, which would be covered in all these ritual effects, an ankh or whatever it may be. Excuse me. But that's what the point of this is, to understand that there's 6 different terminologies in here that I can find. The point of stamped into powder. In witchcraft, they use stamps and linkage. Different kinds of stamps and linkages. But understand that the way that the principality and everything around you is pushed in on you, the witchcraft that has been used to pull you down. Now, I know you didn't know. Nobody knew. I didn't know until the Father woke me up from the part of decrees. And then the other part of it was that Solomon had built an altar for Ashtaroth. And she was Lilith's daughter, which come forward all the way to today, which nobody knew about, which would be the point of turning women into men and men into women, and the decrees that come forward. So understand that all these principalities, which is our higher up echelon, the Bilderbergs, the other 3-worded entities, and the deal of it is that they had changed the whole game on everybody and done, psychological warfare, which is a different kind of witchcraft, even the part of religious witchcraft. And it can be used. It is used. I know a few people that do use it. But the thing that to overcome these things is to spend time with the Father. If you don't spend that time with him, you're just going to keep walking in the flesh. The point of getting away from the flesh. When I met the Wiccan out there in Kentucky, I didn't understand that part of it. I've been so isolated all my life that I didn't understand. And to understand that there's these things actually really going on in these people's lives. And, wow. How do you understand that? A pagan had her own altar, had everything that she, and was worshiping something else. And she's only 21 years old. And you wonder, how far has everybody walked away? This is pretty serious. At this point in time, Jesus is on his way back because the Father's not going to put up with this. Anyhow, to really understand what you're off into, I will deliver some more out there tomorrow about this, which will be Sunday, Easter Sunday, and I will be pushing a little bit about Jesus. But understand, Jesus on your lip, okay? Always. Father in your heart, mind, and soul. Being aligned. Ice cream, mind loves it, heart loves it, belly loves it. So understand how this is working. But I will get into the Ashara, Shemash, Tamaz, and stuff like that tomorrow, and give a little bit more about it. But the understanding is, spend the time with the Father. It's very crucial at this time. Anyways, the Father loves you. I mean, he loves you more than you'll ever know. And you've got a gift. You've got a blessing and gift. And you're the most wonderful children of God. You are. You are worthy. So anyways, I'm going to get off here. I'm servant of the Most High. I love you guys. Spend time with Father. It will be worth it. Bye.